already formulate our linear programming problem. And also, we have to solve with simplest method, right? So the first thing we've done is we have also, our simplest equation is ready. This is our simplest equation. So the next thing we need to do is to now start our table. So the first one we'll do is table 1, right? Let's start with the table 1. So permit me to bring the table format, which I already done here. So this is my table. So I will bring my table here. Now, let me empty all these things that are here. Because it's a new question. Okay, so I'm going to empty everything. I'm emptying everything. So now this is how your blank table looks like, normal. This is how your table looks like, your blank table. This is how it looks like, normal. X1, you can see how many objective functions do we have? We have 4 objective functions. Okay, where are they? The objective function we have, there are 4. That's X1, X1, X2, S1, and S2. These are the 4 objective functions. So they will come as basic variable is here. Can you see it now? X1, X2, S1, S2. Now, your slack variables, what are the slack variables here? The slack variables are S1 and S2. These are your slack variables. So your slack variable will come here, X1 and X2, they will come. Now, what is CJ? CJ simply means the coefficient of your variables. That's CJ. Okay, I explained this one a lot in the last class. So if you are not here, just study this material. CJ means coefficient of your variable. So for now, I want you guys to tell me what is the coefficient. So this CJ now that you are picking here is basically for the objective functions, right? Is the coefficient of the variables of the, I'm tempted to write it again. CJ is the coefficient of the variables. Okay, that's it. So for all what you have here, it is the objective functions that you are writing. So now what is the CJ for X1 based on the objective function? Can somebody tell me the CJ of X1 based on the objective function, please? What's the CJ of X1?
3,000.
Okay, so X2 is what?
25.
X1 is 3. S3 is what? 0, and I mean S1 is 0 and S2 is 0. So the number that is attached to that thing is your CJ. So here is 3,000. Here is 25. Here is 0. Here is 0. That's your CJ. So automatically, this X1 now, it is 0. You put it here. This S2 is 0. Now, so once you have done this now, then you now bring in the CJ of each of your constraints too. So if you look at my first constraint now, what are the CJ of the constraints? So you can see I have 3x1, 2x2, 1s1, and 0s2. So that means my CJ are 3, 2, 1, 0. Sorry, is this clear to you? 3, 2, 1, 0. Is this clear to everybody? 3, 2, 1, 0. Is that clear? Hello, guys. Is that clear? How it is 3, yes. 2, 1, 0. Yes. Yeah. So thank you. So it is 3, 2, 1, 0. And the total is what? 240. So you put it on that solution, 240. Now, for S2 now, can somebody just call all the CJ for me for S2? I want you guys to follow. Somebody should just call the CJ for me for S2 fast, without wasting time. Yeah. Who want to do that? Somebody should call everything for me.
1101.
Oh, yeah.
1101.
Okay.
1101.
110100. Like this. Perfect. So now we know our CJ, Abi. We know our ZJ. Now, what's our SJ? Your SJ, I mean your ZJ, sorry. Your ZJ simply means what? Your ZJ means this CJ multiplied by each of the variable. So for X1 now, for this X1, your let me show you the working. Do you need the workings or you know it already? Do you know the working for ZJ or you know it already? I need confirmation. It's very simple. Do you guys need working for ZJ or you know it? So I can just move on. Hello?
Please do it again.
Okay. Trying to typo. Okay, let's do ZJ, Abi. ZJ now. ZJ. So for X1, for X1, My Zj is what? This 0 you have here. This 0 multiplied by 3 plus this 0 here for S2 multiplied by what? 1. It will be 0 times 3 plus it will be 0 times 3, 0 times 3 plus 0 times 1. So everything will be 0, last. So for S2, it's still going to be S22 will be what? 0 times S2 will be 0 times what? 2. Okay?
Times 2 plus 0 times
Plus
1.
plus 0
0
times what? 1. So it will be 0.
1.
So you continue for the. So in a nutshell, everything will be 0 because you are multiplying 0, 0, 0. Everything will be 0. So no need for me to waste time again. Now, the next thing you do is you now say Cj minus Zj. You already know your CJ. Your CJ is this, Abby. Your ZJ is 0. So if you do CJ minus Zj, this will be 3,000, Abby. Then this one will be 25, Abby. Then this one is 0 and 0. Meaning 3,000 minus 0 is 3,000, Abby. 25 minus 0 is 25. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. So because we have this now, and note that for maximization problem, your Cj minus Zj must either equal to 0 or negative. I repeat, for maximization problem, I gave you the rule. Let me trace where I think I wrote it down for you somewhere. For maximization problem, your Cj, now please read it now. This is the rule. This is the rule. For maximization problem, optimal solution is arrived at when Zj minus Zj is less or equal to 0. Is either it is negative or 0. Then for minimization problem, optimal solution is when your Cj minus Zj is greater or equal to 0. So in this case now, because our Cj minus Zj now is positive, so we have not reached optimization. Now this is the beginning of the problem now. So this one will take us to table 2. So table 1, no solution. It will take us to table 2. Now, before you move on to table 2 now, there are some little exercise you need to do. So here now, on this our column or row, I don't know, you check which one is the highest here. Cj minus Zj, which one is the highest, please? Which one is the highest? Cj minus Zj.
3,000. 3,000, which is X1.
3,000, which is what? X1, Abi. So this is 3,000. So this 3,000. So this is our key column. It is known as a key column or pivot column. Okay, it is known as your key column or pivot column. Okay, so let me do one thing now. It is known as your key column or your pivot column. Sorry, just a minute. Okay. So you said 3,000 is the highest, Abi. 3,000 is the highest. So since 3,000 is the highest now, so you will cycle it like this. So this thing I've shaded here now is my key column or key row. I mean key column is key column, right? It's key column or pivot column, whichever one. It's key column or pivot column. Okay, that's it. Now, so because this is where you have the highest, you will now divide this your final solution here by your key column. So how do you do that now? This one will be 240 divided by 3. That gives us 80, Abi, correct? Am I correct? Guys, let's sorrow now. Please on mute. Let's do it together. I don't want to do it alone.
Yes, you are correct.
Thank you. Here is 100 divided by 1, Abi. This is 100, Abi. Now, so once you have done this now, you will now select, because now here, out of X1 and S2, you need to maximize one of them. You need to maximize one in your next table. So before you can maximize one of S1 and S2, you need to eliminate one of these S1 and S2. You need to eliminate. How do you know which one you are going to eliminate? You will check which one gives you the lesser value here. Whichever one gives you the lesser value is the one you are going to eliminate. So out of 180, you agree with me that 80 is the lesser value, Abi? You agree with me that 80 is a lesser value. So that 80 is my key row, That place where I have 80, you will now circle it again from beginning to the end. That's my key row. It's known as your key row. Okay, key row. So this place now is my key row. So you can see my key column, my key row. Now, there is a point of intersection. Hello, are you guys with me? There is a point of intersection between your key row and key column. Who can tell me the point of intersection here? Between the key column and key row. 3. So this 3 here is your pivot element. Very, very important. This 3 is the most dangerous. Is the most dangerous 3. Let me put it in red. That very, very important. This 3 is your pivot element. Now, so we are done. We can now move on to table 2 now. So if you look at this table very well now, what the implication is that X1 must come in the next table. So what am I going to eliminate for X1? I will eliminate this S1 for it, because this X1 that I just, let me color it for you. This X1 you see here now produce a lesser what contributions for me. So I must eliminate this S1. So when I eliminate this X1, why am I eliminating it? Because I have just 80. It's giving me a lesser contribution. Now, and the other one gave me 100. So I must eliminate this S1 in next table. Then when I eliminate this X1, which one produced the highest for me here? It is X1. So I will have to bring in X1 and I will eliminate S1. So let's move on to the next table. Fast. So I'm going to table 2 now. So I'm going to delete everything. I'm going to delete everything. I'm going to delete everything. Okay. So, hello. So we are here now. So I told you now which one sorry. So the one we are removing now in this table 1 now, who can tell me what is I've told you already, what is the exiting column and what is the entry column? I mean, what is the entry key variables? Who can tell me the entry key variables? And who can tell me the exiting key variables? I've explained it already.
Entering is S1.
Entering is X1. Why is X1 the entry?
Because it has the highest contribution.
Or the highest, Abi. Then which one is exiting? Which one is exiting?
S1.
Why is X1 exiting?
Because it has less contribution.
That's the lesser out of these two, Abi. Sorry, before I move on to table 2, who does not understand this thing we've just explained now? Who does not understand it, please?
Please, I don't. I don't. When you were explaining it, my network was acting up. I had to log out and log in again. Please.
Oh, okay. So I will try and explain it again, the meaning of the exiting and entering. So if you look at the completion of this table 1 now, you will discover that X1 and S2, the X1 is the one that gave us the higher contribution, right? So the implication is that you must bring in this S1 in your next table because it gives you higher. But you can only have 2 variables here. You cannot have 3. That means one of these 2 must leave for you to bring in X1. So how do you know which one will leave? It is the one that gives you the lesser contributions here that will leave. So I don't want you to cram. That's why I'm using this term to explain it. So it is this one that gives you the lesser. So you will remove it lesser and bring in the one. Yes, sir. You will bring in the one that with the higher contribution. So we are done with that. So let's move on to table 2 now. So table 2, we know that we are bringing in X1, okay, and we'll be having S2 as well. So what is the coefficient? What's the CJ for X1? It's 3,000. It's 3,000. Then what about S2? 0. Abi?
Yes.
0. Now, I want to explain another principle now. very important. For the entry variables, I'm saying it for the third time, for the entries variable, your key element for the entry variable, key element is this one, the point of intersection, right? Your key element must equal to 1. Okay? How will your key element equal to 1? You divide the entire cells of that row by your key element. Okay? So if I'm to do that now, I will say here it will be, let me reduce it. Okay, I'll reduce it. So here I have 3, Abi. I will say 3 divided by 3, which is equal to 1, Abi. Then here I will say 2 divided by 3. I must divide everything by 3, by key element. Here will be 1 over 3, Abi. Here will be 0 over 3, which is 0, Abi. Here will be 240 divided by 3, Abi, which is what?
That's
80.
80.
80. I hope this is clear, everybody. I hope this is clear to you guys.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Casey, where did you get the 3?
Why
Sorry,
not?
please,
Why not
please,
50
please, please.
divided
I'm
by
sorry
3?
to.
Sorry, I'm not getting you. Can you repeat your questions, please?
Why
Can
not
you
80
repeat your
divided by
question?
3?
No, you can't say 80 divided by 3 now. Your primary value is 240. Okay, your 240. See, this is the 240 we are looking at, bro. This is the 240 we are looking at. Can you see the 240? The one we circled, not this one in the ratio. This one in the ratio here, we use it for decision making. Do you understand, bro? The 240 I'm looking at is the one in the solution, bro. Do you understand? Okay. Yeah, it is this 240 in the solution that you are looking at, not the one. No. Okay. Now let's move on now. So let's move on. So we have just finished one problem now. Now S2 now. How do you now solve S2? I have a formula that I wrote the last time. Let me bring that formula back. This is the formula that you can use for S2. Very easy. Very, very easy. But you don't need to cram it. So let's do it now. So we're going to do, let's do X1 first. X1. So for X1 now, I said you are picking your initial or old value. So for X1 now, I want to do for X2, Abi. So my initial or old value is this 1, which I need to replace, Abi. For S2, my initial old value is this 1. Okay, so I'll bring in this 1 here. 1 minus what? I said corresponding key column value. Okay, corresponding what? Key column value. So the key column value is this particular column that you have circled here. Everything that this fall under this 3000, they are a key column. So this one itself is a key column value. Okay, so that means you are going to say it's still going to be 1, right? 1 multiplied by what? Key corresponding row value. So this your 1 here. The row value is what is on top of it, is your row value. So what is on top of this one is what? Is 3. Okay? It is 3 that is on top of it. You say multiply it by what? By 3. By 3. Then you will now divide it by your key element. What is the key element? That is the point of intersection, which is what? 3 also. So divided by 3. By 3.
Please again.
So yeah, don't worry. It's going to be repetitive. I will do for S2, S3, S2, S1, S. So you understand. But let me quickly finish this particular one. So 1 minus. So 1 times 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, Abi. That means my answer is likely is going to be 0. So here we'll have 0. We'll have 0 here. So if you did not understand how I solved this first one, please watch me. Let's do the second one together. If you did not understand how the first one was solved, let's do the second one together. Please, I need your support here. So second one is S2, please. Now, X2 now, from the table 1, what is the current value of S2? You will check that the current value is this one that the one that I put my mouse on now. It is this one. So I'll write the 1 now. 1. minus what is the corresponding key column. Now, for this one now, the key column is the one by the, this is the key column. So basically, this value of key column will be constant for all of them. So this one now, the key column for this one is this one beside it. This key column is what we circled there. So the key column is still the same one. So I'll say 1 minus multiply by, then what is the corresponding row of this one? The corresponding row of the one is what? Is 2. Abby? What is on top of the 1 is 2. Multiply by 2. Then you will now divide it by what is the key element? Key element will be constant for all of them. 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing you are changing is this your initial value and your key row value. The key column and the key element will remain constant, okay, throughout. So, can somebody help us with mathematics here now? So this is equal to 1 minus 1 times minus 2 divided by 3. So answer will be 1 over 3. Am I correct? Final answer will be 1 over 3. Am I correct? Yeah. Yes. Have done the Sabi mass. I'll continue fish 1 over 3. So the next one. So guys, if you don't, let's do it. You guys should call S1 for me. Can you call S1 for me, please? This is the table. Can you call the figure S1 for me? What is the initial value for S1? Can you guys call it for me?
0.
It is 0. It is this 0, Abby. It is this 0.
Yep.
So if you follow my tricks, it will be 0 minus 1 multiplied by what is the corresponding row for the 0? It is 1 that is on top of it, Abby. So multiply by 1. Yes. Then you divide it by what? By 3. That 3 is constant. 3. So your key element cannot change. It's constant. So 1 times 1, 1. So this one will be minus 1 over 3. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yes, you are. Yes.
It is minus 1 over 3. See, what I'm advising you guys is that with this one now, we will have solved 3 questions on simplex. So if in your own interest, guys, on Saturday, it will be one man for himself, right? In your own interest, the 3 questions that we've solved, thank God that this particular class is being recorded. I would like you guys to go and practice those 3 questions. We will be back on Friday again, 9 p.m. So you can now bombard me with clarification on Friday. Friday is basically for us to just rub mind and end it. So the 3 questions that I have solved for you, this is the 3rd one I'll be solving on simplex. Please practice it. Then on Friday, bombard me with your inquiries. Then we can now end it so that we know on Saturday nothing for Mr. Abbas. We'll go clear that 15 marks. We'll go chop him live. So that's the deal. So please help me too by helping yourself. That is, you have to read. So for S2 now, our initial is 1, Abi. Our initial value for S2 is 1. 1 minus, it will be 1 multiplied by, what is the corresponding row for S2? 0.
0.
Abi? 0.
Yes.
So you divide it by key element, which is constant. That's 3. You divide it by 3. So if you check now, everything will still be, it will be 1. But everything multiplied by 0 is 0. It will be 1. So this will be 1. Okay? Now, let's do for this solution. We'll do for this solution value as well. We'll do for this solution whatever too now. So let's do it now. For that solution, for the solution now,
100.
Our initial value is from the table 1. Oh, initial value is 100. Okay? Is 100. It will be 100 minus 1 multiplied by, what is the top row value? What is the top row?
240.
The top row is 240, Abi. Multiplied by 240. 240. Then you divide it by 3. You divide it by 3. You divide it by 3. So when you divide it by 3, so what do we have as the final answer? That should be 20. Am I correct? Yeah, you bring in your 20 here. So with what we have, you can now calculate your ZJ. How will you calculate your ZJ? I don't need to show the workings now, Abi. ZJ simply means 3,000 times 1 plus 0 times 0. This would be 3,000 for ZJ. Okay. Now, ZJ here is what? 3,000 times 2/3. Yeah, let's do it.
2,000.
Calculator.
2,000.
2,000, I mean. 2,000.
Yes.
Then ZJ for this one is 3,000 and 1/3. That should be 1,000.
1,000. 0.
Then ZJ, this one will be 0, Abi. Yeah.
Yes.
Then, so that will be 0. So what about this one now? 3,000 times 80 is what?
240,000.
It's 240. 240,000. So the next thing is to do CJ minus ZJ. So this one is 0. This one is what? 500.
500.
This one is minus 1,000.
1,000.
Then this one
0.
is what? 0. Is 0, Abi?
Yep.
Okay, just a minute. Now, you will check that we have not reached optimal solution. Do you know why we have not reached optimal solution? Because there is still a positive here. This 500 is a problem now. This is a problem. That is why we have not reached optimal solution. Suppose everything gave us negative, then we will have reached our optimal solution. So because we don't have positive yet, we'll move on to table 3. So let's do it now. Table 3. Table 3. Table 3. So let's go to table 3. I'll take this now. Go table 3. So I will delete everything first of all. You will only leave your CJ at the top. Now, let's check now. We need to now locate all this same thing that we did now. Now, which one is the highest here? CJ minus ZJ. Which one give us the highest here, please?
500. S2. 500. 500.
X2, Abi. Okay,
Yes.
that's one gives us the highest.
Yeah.
So come here. We'll come here like this. This is where we have the highest, correct? This is where we have the highest. So you would divide what you have here by this figure. So 80 divided by 2/3. That will give us what?
80 divided by 2/3. That will be 60.
No, that will be 120, Jare.
120.
80
sorry,
divided by
120.
2/3. 80 divided by 2/3 is
120
120 now. That's 80
Yes,
times 3
120.
divided by 2. Then 20 divided by 1/3.
60.
60. Yeah. So which of these is the lowest? The one that is the lowest is your exiting, right? Then the one that is the higher, you will keep it. So from here now, 60 is the lowest. So we have to remove 60. 60 is the exiting. So just watch me. Like this. So let's go. So when we are going to table, we want to go to table 3 now. Now, I want you to answer a question before we go to table 3. The question is, what is my entry variables in table 3? And what is my exiting variables here? Who can tell me? Who can answer this question for me? What is my entry variable and what is my exiting variable?
Entry variable is S2, while existing variable is S2.
Sorry, is there anyone that does not?
X1.
Okay, you said which one is entry and which one is exiting? Someone said X1. I wanted to. Which one is
X2
exiting
for
and which
entry.
one?
X2
Exit is
for
what?
entry. Exit is
Okay.
S1.
Exit is X1. This X1 here, Abi.
X1. Yes.
Okay, which one is entering? Okay. You didn't get it actually. Let me explain it now. I hope you'll be able to understand it now. What you are entering is the one that gives you the higher value here. If you look at these two now, which one gives us the higher value here? In this CJ minus ZJ, which one gives us the higher value? It is X2. So because x2 give us the higher value, x2 is our entry variables, because that is where we have the higher value here. CS2, it gave us the higher value. That's why it is your entry. Now, which one is exiting here? The one that, sorry, excuse me. The one that is exiting is the one that gives us the lower contributions here. If you check 120 and 60, which one gives us the lower contribution? It is S2. So this S2 is the exiting variables. Okay, so you are removing S2 and you are bringing in X2. Sorry, is that analysis clear now, please?
Yes, boss.
Yeah, I want the person that said X1 to clarify that it is clear.
Noted. Noted.
Noted, Abi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now that we have clarified that, let's move on to final table now, which is table 3. So for table 3 now, we have X1, we have X1, X2. X2 is our entry now. This is entry now, because you know what you do for entry is different. So now what's the CJ? This one is 3,000 and this one is 2 what? 500, Abi.
25.
Now for the
Yeah.
25, yeah. So for the entry variable, who can tell me what is our pivot element here? What's our pivot
1 over
element in this
3.
table?
1
So
over
our
3.
pivot element is the point of intersection between the key row and key column. That's our pivot element. So this 1 over 3 is our pivot element. Are you guys with me? So you have to make this pivot element 1. How do you make it 1? You will divide it by everything you have from
1
this
over
cell. So since it is 1/3, first thing is that come here, first of all, make it 1 here. Then you will now say, what do you have here? We have 0, Abi. 0 divided by 1/3.
Yeah.
Let me write it for you. 0
0.
divided by, how will I write it? 0 divided by 1/3 is 0, Abi. You know, Abi. Then
Yes.
this is
Yes.
minus 1/3 divided by 1/3. What is the answer? 1/3 divided by
Minus
1/3.
1.
That will give us, really,
Minus
is that
1.
how, is that this? Minus 1 divided by 1/3, that's minus 1. Is that correct? Minus 1.
Yes.
Minus 1. Okay. Now, the next one is what? 1 divided by 1/3. What is the answer?
3.
1 divided by 1/3 is what? Is 3. So you have your 3
3.
here. Yeah. Then your solution is showing what? 20, Abi. So 20 divided by
Yes.
1/3 is what? 20 divided by
60.
1/3 is what? 60. So you bring
60.
in your 60 here. Thank you. You bring in 60 here. So let's do X1 now. So X1, definitely you are going to apply this formula for X1. Where is our formula I gave you? This formula we have here. This formula is what you need to apply for your X1. So let's do it again fast. That's the last table we are discussing. You can see that this thing is very simple, Abi. As we are advancing, it's becoming much easier for us, Abi. So I will still repeat it again. Kindly practice. This is the third question I'm solving on SIMPLEX. Please practice the 3 questions I've solved. If you master the 3 questions, just go and be drinking Zobo or be drinking wine for Mr. Abbas on Saturday. You are good. But if you attempt those 3 and you still have issue, bring your problem on Friday. We will listen to you and we'll try and address it on Friday for you. But you must be able to attempt before you can really enjoy whatever thing we'll be saying on Friday. Okay, well, let's do our own. We are trying our best here to teach, but let's also do our own best too by studying. Please, I'm begging everybody, read before Friday so that all of us will be at par. We will only be brainstorming. If possible, I can solve 1 or 2 past questions on SIMPLEX again on Friday. But we too should show some effort on Friday, please. I'm begging everyone. Okay, let's show effort.
Right.
That's why I'm recording this session for us so that you can also go back and repeat it. I don't record actually, but we have to just do it tonight. Okay.
All right.
So let's
Thank you
take
so much.
take care of this table 3 now. Here we have X1, Abi. Our X1 here, our initial value is 1, Abi. Our initial value is 1 here, correct? It should be 1 minus what? 1 minus what? 1 minus the initial value is 1. So what is the key column value of that one? That's your 2/3, Abi. Okay, what is the corresponding key column of the one? Is your 2/3, Abi. Your corresponding key column of the one is 2/3. So if you check, 1 is your initial value. Your corresponding key column is what? Is 2/3. Are you with me? Is 2/3. Is 2/3. 2/3. This 2/3 here. So 1 minus 2/3. Okay, multiply it by what? Your corresponding row value. What is the corresponding row value for the one? What is the corresponding row value for the one? That's 0, Abi. Are you guys following me? That is 0. Corresponding row value for the one is 0. Is 0.
Is 0.
Divided by what is our key element value?
1/3.
What's our key element value? That's 1/3. So how do we solve this now? How do we solve this mathematics? This should give us 1, right?
Yes.
1. So our final answer is 1. Am I correct?
Yep.
It's 1. So this is 1 here. Now let's move on to the next one, x2. x2. So what is our initial value for x2? Is 2/3, Abi? Is 2/3.
Yes.
Is 2/3. 2 divided by 3. Minus, what is our key, you know, 2/3, this 2/3 is constant for all of them, so don't even waste your time. 2/3 multiply by your, what is your corresponding row value? That's 1/3, Abi. Is 1/3. Corresponding row value is 1/3 divided by your key element. Your key element value is also 1/3. So what is the answer here mathematically? Can somebody solve this for us?
0.
Hey. Oh, God. Daddy. Let me unmute. Let me mute. Let me mute him. Let me mute. I can't even see him. Okay, we are good now. I've muted him. So what is this answer? Have you solved it mathematically?
0.
How did you get 0? Teach us.
Okay,
2/3
times
times 1/3.
1/3 times 3 over 1. So 1/3 times 3/1 is equal to 1. Then times 2/3, that's 2/3. So 2/3 minus 2/3 is 0.
0, Abi. Okay. Thank you, mathematician. I want
Sorry,
to
please,
be
can you
like
take
you
that
when I
again? I
grow.
didn't follow. Kazeem, please, can she
Take the
take that
mathematics.
again?
Take the
Okay, let me
mathematics
take
again.
it
No.
again. Okay, so this denominator, you change it to, when it's coming up, like when you want to change it to multiplication, that means the denominator, that 1/3, 3 will be up, 1 will be down. So that is 1/3 times 3/1. That's 1. So 2/3 times 1 is 2/3. Then 2/3 minus 2/3 is 0. So that's how I got my 0.
Let me make it easy now. This 1/3 will cancel this 1/3.
So 2/3.
So when this one cancel this, just take this one minus this one, it will be 0. Me, I don't know how to speak grammar like I cannot speak grammar like Fumi, so I just make it easier. Just subtract this 1/3 from one. I mean, cancel this one with this one, and you are good. Abi?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. Yeah, it's still the same thing. Now, me, I'm using shortcut. You are using the proper method, but me, I don't have time for that proper method. That's why I just do shortcut and it works. So let's carry on, please. X1, let's do X1 now. So this one is 0. Let's do X1. What is our X1? So what is the initial value for X1? It's 1/3, Abi. It's 1/3. 1/3 minus, what is the key? 2/3 will still be the day, Abi. Then what is the the corresponding row value for 1 over 3 is minus 1 over 3.
Yes, minus 1 over 3. Yes.
Is minus multiplied by minus 1 over 3. Then you divide it by the key something. That's 1 over 3. So what is this one mathematically?
Minus 1. So
I think this one will cancel this one. It will now be minus 1. Minus 1 times this one will be minus 2 over 3. So it will be 1 over 3 plus 2 over 3. That's how much? That should be 3 over 3.
That's 1.
3 divided by 3 is 1. Yeah.
That's 1.
Thank you. Yeah, I solved it myself. Thank God. So we have 1 0 1 0 1 0. Wait, 1 0 1 1 0 1. Abi? So let's do the last one. X2. X2, please. X2. So what is our initial value for S2? The initial value is 0, right? Initial value is 0, then minus. So this 2 over 3 will be constant for all of them. Just get the corresponding row value for that 0, which is 1, Abi. It is 1. Okay, multiply by 1, then divided by 1 over 3. How much?
Minus 2.
No, are you sure that's correct? I don't think it's correct. Answer should be, okay, it's minus 2, Abi. I think you are correct. You are correct. Do you know how it is minus 2, everybody? Let me explain now. If you bring this one will be 3 over 1 up there. So it will be 3 over 1, Abi. 3 over 1 multiplied by 2 over 3. That's 6 over 3. So 6 over 3 will now be 2. Then we have a minus here. So that's minus 2. So we have minus 2 here. Now let's do the last one now for the solution table. Solution table. Initial value here is 20, Abi.
Yes.
Initial value is 20. Abi, is it solid solution? No. Initial value is 80. 80 now. See, this 80 here. Abi, initial value is 80 minus 2/3. Multiply it by, what is the corresponding for that 80? That's 20.
20.
Okay, 20 divided by 1 over 3. So how much do we have, please?
40.
40. How? 1 over 3, that's 3 times 20 is 60, Abi. 60 times 2, 120. 120 divided by 3, that's 40. 80 minus 40 is 40, correct? So we have 40 here. So now that we are done with this now, so we can calculate our ZJ. So ZJ for this one obviously will be 3,000. 3 times 1 is 3,000, 2,005 times 0, Abi. ZJ for this one is 25.
25.
Then ZJ for this one is 3,000 times 1, 3,000. 25 times minus 1 minus 25. So that's about 500.
500.
Right? Then 3 times 2 is minus 6,000. 25 times 3, that's 7,000 what? So this one will be minus 1.
Minus 1.5.
Minus 1.5. No, is that correct? No, I don't think it's correct. So 3,000 times 2 is 6,000. Minus 2. That's minus 6,000, Abi. Minus 6,000. Then this one will be 1.5. Okay. Then what about this one now? 3,000 times 40 plus 2.5 times 60. That should be 270,000 like this. So what's CJ minus ZJ? This is 0. This is 0. This is minus 500. This is minus 1,500. So now you can see that we don't have any positive value again now. Everything is negative and 0. So that means we have now reached optimal solution. So you now write, since you write decision, since Cj minus Zj value is negative and is and 0, using Dr. Abbas sentence, I have now reached my, you put in capital letter according to him, optimal solution. So in this case now, your optimal quantity is that for X1, they should produce 40 units of X1, and X2, they should produce what? 60. Okay, for X1, they should produce 40. So optimal solution. So 40 units of X1 should be produced, and 60 units of X2 should be produced. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with the simplex. So any question on this simplex method? We have just resolved what we are taught in class. So if they produce this now, they will have a maximum contribution, maximum profit of 270. You say should be produced to arrive at a maximum profit of 270,000. So that's your decision for this. So we are done with this simplex, which is the most important thing. Okay. Any questions for me, please? Question. Yeah, Mr. Governor, go ahead, sir. I want to take C and D parts too.
Am I permitted to sit with you on Saturday?
Are you permit? We all have our sitting arrangement now, so sitting is as per status quo, sir. We are not changing our seats.
I want
Thank
to
you,
sit
sir.
with you, sir.
Next question, please. Next question.
I think you have a typo error in that this thing. In that
the solution
decision.
Oh yeah, tell me which one is typo.
Instead of 0, you bracket. Value is negative. And this bracket that you wrote is 0.
And 0. I have now reached my optimal solution. Okay. So that's for this, Abby. So we are done with the simplex. So trust me, this is very simple. Just master this formula here. Thank God this class is recorded. So you can wake up in the midnight if you want to and listen to this thing again. So just master this formula here and you are good. That's the only thing you need to know. Know how to apply it and you are good. All right. Sincerely, when we were taught in class, I did not understand this at all because I was just seeing figure flying around in the class. But it was after the class that I went to do my own research online and I was able to analyze this like this. So please, you need to also do the same. So we are done with A and B. So can we do C, D, E, or you can take care of the rest? This one are very simple. Can we, or you can take care of it on your own, guys, so that I can release you, everybody. Hello. Should I release you now, or what do you think about CDE? Simplex is the most important, which we have done, which we are done.
Let's do it, please.
Okay,
please
I should not release you there.
Please release us.
Okay, so everybody should go and practice.
You want to go.
Governor, you can exit the call now. Why should you release us? Exit the call.
You joined 2 minutes ago. You want him to dissolve the class. Why are you like this?
Why are you like this? Yes, why are you like this?
Once you go, I'm sitting down.
Guy. Guy, they go join and beat you online. Oh. You know, virtual beating is different from physical beating. You just, where you are, you will just be seeing people are slapping you. You know where the slap is coming from. Okay, let's see how far we can go, guys. Let's move on. I'm with you guys.
Please.
Olajiro, you can go, please. You can go.
They will do virtual beating for you.
My governor, sir. My governor.
Shiv Ibrahim.
My governor,
yes,
we know you are talking.
Alaikum salam, my governor. Alaikum salam. Ekaleo.
Ekalesa.
Ṣé dáadáa?
My governor, my your side
Kazeem,
I dey stay. Oh. My your side I dey stay.
Okay, let's work, please. No time, no
all
time.
right, all right.
Yeah, work day tomorrow so that you guys don't resume late at work tomorrow because of me. Okay, just know that on Friday we might take this thing up to 11. Let's see how far we can go. At least I want you guys to have maximum understanding of this topic before that test. That 15 marks should even be non-negotiable for you guys. You should collect that 15 marks easily because exam we don't know how it's going to look like. That transposition model too is still looking blah. So we have opportunity to collect 15 marks easily on this one. So look at see what is the effect on profit. Yeah, Governor, let me put you on the spot. Can you take it off from here?
No idea, sir.
Why you want them to laugh at you?
And you want us to
Governor, you are
go?
capable.
Please release
Don't
us.
worry.
No idea.
Governor is going to take charge of econometrics. He will be teaching us econometrics. Am I worry very soon? Still, he's doing his research currently. Okay, let's move on. So, what is the effect on profit if assembly man machine hour is increased by 1 hour? So, what you will do is I just copy you will write your objective function again. So, me, I'm not going to write, I will just copy it. This is my function. So, this is it. So, this is it, right? So, I will just say this is what they say we should do. Now, if my assembly is increased by 1 hour. So I will say, so now this is my stuff. I will just make it equal to. So what is my assembly? This is that if I increase this one by 1 hour, it will now turn to this. So what I will just do is that you will use your simultaneous equation to find x1 and x2. Simple. Do you know what we have even done here? You can verify your answer too with simultaneous equation. You can verify your answer, right? We said that our x1 is 40 and our x2 is 60. So let's do one thing here. Can you give me 3 times? 3 times x1 is 40, Abby. 3 times 40 is what? That should be 120, Abby.
120, yes.
Then 2 times 60 is what?
120.
120 plus 120, you can see it's equal to 240.
240.
Yeah. So if you do 60 plus 42 to give you 100, this is how to confirm if you are in the exam. Equal that means village people and don't debate that.
Oh, sir.
So that's how to verify. So now this is what we have now. Ordinarily, we are supposed to use simplex again to rework this, but Abbas said just use simultaneous equation. So solution now, you do your simultaneous equation. So you bring it like this. You bring it. You bring it. So this will be 241. Now you find your x1 and x2. So what you can easily do is multiply. You find your x1 and what x2, Abi, you solve it simultaneously. So how can you solve it? So you can just multiply everything by 2. So multiply equation 2 by 2 based on how we solve it in the class. So multiply equation 2 by 2 by 2. So this one now, I'm multiplying it with on equation 2. So my new equation will be what now? My new equation will be this. So this one will be 2 times 1, it will be 2, yeah? 2 times 1 here will be 2. So you subtract it. You subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So if you subtract it now, your x1, it will now be 1x1, 1x1 plus this is 0. It's equal to what? It's equal to 41. No, it's equal to, this will be 200 now. It's equal to 41. So if your x1 is equal to 41, then you substitute this in equation 1. Substitute for substitute for x1 in equation 1. So what's going to be my x1? It will be 3 into 41, okay, multiplied by 2x2 is equal to 241. So let's work it out. What is 3 times 41?
123.
123 multiplied by 2. No, plus now. Plus 2s2 is equal to 241. So there we have 2x2 is equal to 241 minus 123. How much? 241 minus 123 is what?
118. 118.
So what's my x2?
That's 59.
59. So that's it. So use this one to calculate your new objective function. So the new objective or new total profit is equal to what? Is equal to, what's our objective function self? This 3,000. So you say it's equal to 3,000 into x1. X1 is 41, Abi. 3,000
Yes.
into 41 plus 25 into 59. What do you have? What's your answer?
That's 123,000 plus.
No,
Sorry,
no,
just
total,
give me
total, total.
total. I'm coming.
What's the total?
1,598,000.
No. It's not correct.
It's not
25
correct,
times
Abi.
59 plus 3,000 times 41. That should be 270,500 or so.
270,500.
Okay, 270,
Yeah.
Yes,
500.
So
270,500.
your initial profit, your old profit is what? 270,000. So that means if you increase by your assembling by 1 hour, your profit will increase by 500, and that is a mini. So increase in profit if assembly is increased by 1 hour. That's how much? 500, Abi. So if you increase your assembly by 1 hour, your profit will increase by 1 hour. So that's C part. Then the D we increase by 500, sorry. Then what do we have to do in D part? So it is similar to, they said that one of the staff in finishing department, I decided to work extra hour with the promise to collect 1,700. Will you accept his request? So somebody in finishing hour want to do extra 1 hour and collect 1,007. So it is the same thing we will do. If our answer is less than 1,007, we will reject it. But if it is higher, then we can do, because we are still going to make more money. So it is the same thing. But what you will do here is this. It is the finishing that you are going to increase by 1 hour. Okay? Solution. So here you come like this. So assembling is still the same. So you will now increase this one by 1 hour. I will not show the work, So if you solve it, after solving simultaneously, x1 is equal to, so you can try it on your own. If you solve it simultaneously, x1 is equal to 38, and x2 is equal to what? I'm checking what we got in class, 63. So new profit is equal to 3,000 multiplied by x1, that's 38, plus 2, 5, multiplied by what? 63. So the new profit is equal to 271,500. Then initial profit is how much? His initial profit is 270. So if you look at this now, the increase in profit is how much? Increase in profit as a result of overtime is how much? 1,005. Whereas the guy is asking for how much? 1,007. So we are going to reject the offer. Okay. We are making only 1,500 and somebody is asking us to pay him 1,700 for waiting. So decision, reject the offer since increase in profit is less than the wages demanded. Okay, the guy is asking for 1,700, whereas you are only going to make an additional 1,500. So you have to reject the offer. So the last, I think that should be all, Abi. Or what do you think? Are we done? Hello, are we done? This is so. Let me check the question again. The last one is form the dua and solve completely. So this dua is very simple, right? What you are doing under dua is to just change your objective function all over again. So in solving the dua, you must copy your objective function like this. So you copy it. E, form the dua and solve. So solution. So in form, you copy it like this. This is how it is. Okay. So now, when you have copied it like this, you will now transpose it. Okay. You will transpose it. You would transpose your answer. So how do you transpose your answer now? Your x1 will turn to y1. Then your y2, your x2 will turn to what? Y2. So which means that your new objective function will now be this assembling, and so you will just, I don't know how to, it's like if I carry my laptop upside down now, that's what it do. I mean, which means that my new objective function will now be x1 and x2. In this case now, these are cost. It will be maximized again. I will now say minimize. So let me show you. Solution. So now I want to minimize cost. In this case now, I want to minimize the cost. So I will represent my assembly by y1. So it will now be 240 y1 plus 100 y2. These are my objective function now. Minimize the cost. I want to minimize now. Is my objective function. Now, what are the constraints now? Constraint will now be this 3yy, okay, plus this y2. It will now be greater or equal to 3,000 because it is minimization concept. So subject to 3y1 plus subject 3y1 plus 1y2, then greater or equal to 3,000. You know, the other one was less, but here is minimization. Then the second one will be this 2y1 plus 1y2 greater or equal to 25. Okay, you are transposing it. That is the form. That is the meaning of form do y. From the dua, 2y1 plus 1y2 greater or equal to what? 2,500. So this is how the form dualities means. Then you now have your y1, y2, then it will now be less, non-negativity means less or equal to what? 0. So this is it now. So what you will now do next is to solve this, solve simultaneously. How will you solve it simultaneously? Just pick these two objective function, right? You pick these two objective functions here. So change it to equal to psi. Then you solve it simultaneously. So after solving simultaneously, y1 equal to, what is the y1 self? y1 equal to 500
100.
and y2 equal to, what's our y2? y2
What
equal
equals
to 1,5.
5?
1,5. So that's it. So that's the meaning of form the duality. Dual simply means you are transposing your initial problem. So let me stop recording now so that this thing is not too long for you guys. I'll share the recorded version tomorrow. Okay, so in case you want to, I've stopped recording now. So in case you want to watch it again, you can watch it all over again. So, and also